out on my trip. It is Thursday night, and I'm going to be heading actually over to my mom's house because she lives right across the street from the airport. And my flight leaves tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So I figured I'd sleep at her house. You can see it is still very snowy out here. We only got about an inch of snow a couple of days ago, but everywhere else has melted. We are on the north side of a mountain, as I've said a gazillion times. You're probably sick of hearing that. But it stays pretty snowy up here when it snows, so it's been really pretty. Anyway, I'm getting ready to pack and get my stuff ready to go because I'm flying down to Florida tomorrow so I can have my birthday weekend with Mars. So I'll see you guys there. Video. Okay. Guess where I am? I'm here. Yay! Happy birthday to this one. We've been knitting all day long and listening to David Attenborough's Blue Planet, and we just went outside and we picked. Let me show you. Mars has a yard full of amazing things. So let's see. These that look like oranges are actually lemons, and these that are small are actually oranges, and they're greenish, but they're ripe. It's not the standard thing you get at the store that's either force ripened or much brighter.
Yeah, like this is ready to eat.
Yeah, that's ready to eat.
Yum,
so
yum,
we're gonna
yum.
munch on those, and we picked some wild coffee beans as well as some hibiscus flowers. This isn't the medicinal hibiscus, but you can still make tea out of these, so we're gonna have some tea. Oh, and she's got the coffee beans. See, these are wild coffee beans, which is in the madder family. Yeah. So Marcia's been grabbing them off to see if she could do some dyeing with them.
They get pretty red on the inside, and all that comes out in the water.
Nice. Cool. Okay, everybody, we have decided to do a little DIY project today. We are going to make lotion bars. So we're going to do a cup of coconut oil, a half cup of each cocoa butter and shea butter, and then 1 cup of beeswax. And we have some essential oils, calming essential oils. And will you show me
These are our containers.
Yes. So and they pop open. It's like a chapstick tube, except you've got this big tube to hold your lotion, and so you can rub it on your skin.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know how it comes out. We've never done it before.
Trying to avoid any leakage from inside the tube because we're going to be putting hot oil into it. So we're using some beeswax pellets. And since you can mold them, like most wax, you can mold them a little bit, we're using that to seal up the edges inside the tube.
taking her out tomorrow. I'm gonna make her get on all the roller coasters.
I'm ready.
Yay!
I think I'm ready.
Today is my actual birthday, so she took me out to brunch, and we've eaten lots of chocolate.
Oh, so good.
And I'm working on this right now. I am working on the I-cord bind-off of my hoarfrost cowl. I thought I would do it again, but I'm making it extra big, like 440 stitches, so it'll be a double wraparound.
Princes and princesses, please welcome Sir Mickey and Lady Minnie.
Come on, everyone, let's all dance together.
I just got home, and it is in the 60s, much warmer than it should be for February. There's always weeks like this where we'll have spells of warmth, and that's when the frogs come back out. Let's go hear them. I don't know if you remember my podcast from last year where I tried to podcast when in the treehouse when the frogs were making noise, and it was too loud to podcast. All those little circles in the water is them going down underneath the water because they hear me walking up. Hey everyone, I'm home. I can't wipe the smile off my face. We had so much fun this past weekend. It was just so refreshing to spend 4 days with Marsh and laugh and talk and just, I don't know, be comfortable with someone else and someone else's space and feel completely welcome. And yeah, I don't know, it was just amazing. I hope you guys all have experiences like that in your life. It was a perfect birthday. We had so much fun at Disney World. We spent the whole day there. We were there basically when it opened and then left right before the fireworks so we could get out before the crowd, and she put Adele on the radio and we basically belted out Adele for the next 2 hours on the way home. So yeah, we had such an amazing time. There was one point when we were walking through it was kind of in a side area where it wasn't a main thoroughfare. There was a gate. There was an area where people who are cast members can go in and get changed when they finish their shift. We're walking through this area and there's a bunch of people standing around. And you could tell there's like a spot through the middle of the crowd
where it looks like maybe a parade would come or something, but it leads to a gate. So why there were a bunch of people standing there, we didn't know. And finally Mars went up to woman and she's like, "What's everybody waiting for?" And the woman looked at her like, "Are you nuts?" She goes, "Tom Brady?" And it took a few seconds for me to be like, Tom Brady. Oh, he's the quarterback for the team that just won the Super Bowl. Totally wasn't even thinking about that. And then it immediately made me think of how, and I don't know if they still do this. I'm not a sports watcher, so I don't know if they still do this, but it used to be that the team that won the Super Bowl, they'd interview the quarterback and they'd say, "What are you going to do now that you won the Super Bowl?" And they'd always say, "I'm going to Disney World." They actually do that. So Tom Brady was at Disney World to have a parade, celebratory parade, but luckily it wasn't crowded. I would have thought a lot of people would have been there for that, but it really wasn't very crowded. So we kind of start running through, or zooming through the crowd, so we're not in the middle of it, because we were standing in the middle of the walkway. And as soon as we get through, we start hearing this cheering right behind us, so I guess he'd just come out. But we just kept walking. I wouldn't even know what he looked like. So anyway, it was such an amazing time. I have one knitting thing to show you. No works in progress. One finished object that I started and finished since the time I saw you last. And this is the hoarfrost. I decided, it's actually kind of wet because I've not finished blocking it, so it's a little floppy. But what I did is I cast it on over twice the amount of number that I call for in the pattern, so I can make it something that I can wrap double. Like that. And I think it's going to be really nice. I didn't add the short rows on the back end so that it has a hood, because I figure I can use one of the wraps as a hood if I want to. But yeah, I just need to block it. It's really floppy right now, so it's not opening up. I did an I-cord bind off on both edges too, instead of the one I called for in the pattern, just because I saw one of my testers do that and I liked the way it looked, so I thought I'd give that a try. This is the Fiber Nymph Dye Works. It's 80% Romney, 20% Falkland, and I really liked it. I liked how it knit up. It's a nice sturdy yarn, but not so itchy that I don't want to wear it around my neck. So yeah, so there you go. So there's two other things I guess I wanted to talk to you about. One is that I'm really enjoying seeing all the yarns that you guys are bringing to the Ravelry thread that's discussing yarns that are available at a lower price point. Some of those yarns, though they're absolutely beautiful, are still up there a bit. If you look at a 50 gram skein, that's $9. $9 doesn't seem like much, but when you think the standard skein is usually around 100 grams, that still makes it $18 to $20 for a skein of yarn. So buying 5 skeins for a sweater is not affordable to everyone. So I would love to see more yarns out there that are under $10 a skein, or even under $5 if you have some that you can recommend. My preference is to try and find a good variety of yarns that are not just plastic yarns or acrylic yarns, because there are a lot of those out there, but I'd love to know some of the ones that have a good quality or good quantity of either animal or plant fiber in them, and that you feel are also good quality yarns. They don't fall apart, they have good colors. Yeah, so I'd love to hear more of the, for example, Let Lopi comes in 50 gram skeins, and I can find it for $2 to $3. So it's under $6 for a full 100 grams. So it makes it a lot more, it makes it more open to more people to be able to knit a sweater from that if they wanted to. Let Lopi is not everybody's cup of tea. It's this very specific type of yarn. So I'd love to hear more about what you know is out there. I think it would be, this is important to me because as a designer, I can step out, or I can reach out to any yarn company and say, I would love to try your yarn for this pattern. Will you give me yarn support? And often yarn support means getting the yarn for free. So that means even those yarns that I might not be able to afford, I'm now getting them for free to design the sweater with, because the sweater or whatever it is that I'm designing also gives them advertising for their yarn. But if that's not a yarn that everybody can afford, then I really want to have the options for everyone, so that, you know, maybe I've designed it in this yarn, however these yarns are comparable but at a lower price point, so everyone feels like they can join in and enjoy the knit and they don't feel excluded if they can't afford that yarn. So that's why I really want to have a nice list going of lower price point yarns that are still quality yarns, and have a nice variety for everyone to knit with. So please keep adding to that list. I really appreciate it. And the other thing is, I don't know if you can hear the frogs in the background. Right back behind me there is the pond, and it is full of frogs right now. It's warmed up enough. It always does this at some point during January or February, where there's a few days where it gets really warm and they come out and start their mating call, and it's so loud right now. Sometimes you have to turn on the fan at night so you don't even hear the loudness through the windows, even if the window's not open. So the other thing is that twice a year, my daughter at her new school that she's going to has what's called a creative project. Last semester she worked on photography, and this semester she wants to sew something. So for all of you sewists out there, I would love to hear a little bit about your favorite historical time period to sew from. So what she's looking to create is either is a time period piece. So either a full outfit, or if that's not possible in the 3 months she has to sew it, a piece from that time period. Maybe it's a vest, maybe it's a collar, maybe it's something that she can do some nice detailed embroidery on. Then she would like to show off the piece that she creates and talk about why this piece or this clothing is important to that time period. She's thinking European, but she's not sure the exact time period. So if you have some favorites, if you're a cosplay designer, if you or a historical reenactment and you're really interested in sewing, I'd love to hear your the favorite things that you have created, or time periods that you really enjoy creating pieces from. If you want to leave those comments in down below or in the Ravelry group post, that would be awesome. I really appreciate it. And so does she. She was excited that I could reach out and talk to you guys about what you might recommend. Otherwise, I think that's it. I hope you guys have an amazing couple of weeks, and I hope you find yourself smiling over these couple of weeks as much as I have this past weekend. Take care.